Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Star 6 Wars 1, here for the Supernatural month finale. For this one, we are going to take a bite into Hellsing Ultimate. Now, this is an interesting anime. I've actually been really interested in watching this, unlike the 2003 version, which is, and from what I've heard, inferior to this version. I've never watched it and never will, so there's that. But this version has always interested me, because it sounds like it's really good and people praise it. Does it deserve the praise it gets? Well, let's find out. First up, the story. Now, the story of Hellsing revolves around the Hellsing organization hunting vampires with a vampire named Alucard. That's about as much of the plot synopsis as I'm gonna give, because, quite frankly, I think the story is actually really well written. Not to say it's without problems. Oh no, the story can be a little heavy on the dialogue, especially towards the end. And I do think that some plot points are really stupid, if you really think about it. But honestly, it's more self-aware than something, say, Future Diary. And I think it actually feels better written in overall. Quite frankly, I enjoyed this story a hell of a lot more than I did, say, Future Diary. Even though it's just as, if not darker, than Future Diary could even hope to be. Overall, story is pretty good, though I do have my minor problems with that. Next up, the characters. Now, my favorite bit about the characters is just how enjoyable most of them are. Specifically, Alucard and... Actually, you know what? All the characters are really enjoyable. Okay, yeah, they're not the best characters out there. They're not characters that you may like if you have some problems with morality choices, because all of them are pretty morally ambiguous characters. But I'll be honest, if you're just looking for a character cast that you might have fun with, this is as good as it gets. I really enjoyed a lot of the characters here and was just impressed by them. Does that mean all of them are good? No. But for what it's worth, I think it is a pretty good character cast. Not much more needs to be said about that. Also, Alucard is freaking badass. Just saying. Next up is the animation. This is the one thing about the anime that has the most problems, yet is probably one of the best parts of the show. Early episodes had some of the animation look a little off, but yeah, that happens sometimes, and it was produced pretty early on. And during the middle, however, when the production was taken over by Madhouse, that animation, which went from being pretty good, but still had some hiccups here and there, to awesome. Madhouse did a great job with the middle part of the series. Now, the ending part of the series has about the same problems as the first, except the CGI is outright horrible. Distractingly horrible at times. Yes, CGI in anime. What you gonna do? Overall, the animation's pretty good for the most part, but it does have its hiccups here and there, which is a shame. Next up is the music, which is probably the most part of the series. I'm not gonna say the music is bad. By no means is it bad. I just don't really remember a good chunk of the tracks from the OST. Honestly, it's not that bad, but it's just a little something I have a minor complaint with. There's no opening themes to talk about, so we'll just move on. And I do think the ending credits themes can be good sometimes, and other times, Kinda just depends on the episode. Yes, each individual episode has their own ending themes. That's a thing. Now, should you go with this sub or dub? Honestly, I went with this dub. And I'll be honest, I think this is one of the better dubs out there. Is it perfect? No. Few bits and pieces here and there feel wooden or something like that. But I'll be honest, when it's good, it's really good. Like, some of the best dubbing I've ever seen. With the star performance of the dub being Crispin Freeman as Alucard. When people say that Crispin Freeman embodies Alucard, they're not lying. He really feels like Alucard and just steals the show. Overall, I'd recommend the dub just for Crispin Freeman alone. Not to say that the other voice actors and actresses are bad, they're actually pretty good, with another notable performance actually coming from Yuri Lowenthal, who I did not notice in the first few episodes of his appearance when his character showed up. So kudos to that. Honestly, sound department's kind of an but it's not that bad. Just kind of I'm gonna be honest here. A lot of the reason I like Hellsing Ultimate is I just found it enjoyable. I found the characters fun to watch. I found everything just fun to watch. Even the gore, and I normally hate gore. And just overall really liked and just enjoyed Hellsing Ultimate. Quite honestly though, I do have my minor nitpick problems with it, like certain characters and story nitpicks and the CGI, but honestly I can look past that and see the anime as a pretty good one, and definitely worth a watch, provided you are ready for gore. If you're not a gore fan, I perfectly understand why you will not watch this, because this series has by far the most gore I have seen in any anime yet. So go in with caution. Also, it's one of the darkest anime I've ever seen. Again, go in with caution. I give Hellsing Ultimate a 9 out of 10. It's definitely an enjoyable watch, and I quite liked it. Anyways, that's all from me. This has been Star6Wars1, and we'll see you guys next time.